Hey guys, it's Laura. So recently Chad and I had to pivot from our current winter plans because part of our plans weren't working out. And it kind of got me thinking about how we go about the process of making winter plans, given that we only RV part-time. And that's something I wanted to share with you. So, as many of you may know, like I just said, we RV part-time and we both work full-time in Pittsburgh. So we only have limited amounts of time really where we can use the RV. But instead of it sitting in storage through the winter, we tried to come up with a plan so we could find a way to use the RV year round. And what we did with that was usually every Thanksgiving, we drive it down to Florida, stay somewhere different, and then we go to a location where we plan to stay for most of the winter and put the RV in storage there. And then we'll fly down on weekends, maybe a couple long weekends, and take the RV out of storage and then take it to the RV resort. And then, sometimes if we can squeeze in one or two other trips at another RV resort within, reasonable driving distance, we'll try to do that too, just to experience more. But so, when it comes to us making these winter plans, it takes some coordination. And one of those is just finding an RV resort that will accommodate our short-term stays. The first time we decided to do this, I can't tell you how many RV resorts I called, and the majority of them wanted people who were going to be seasonal renters. And if they didn't want that, then they wanted people to stay for at least a week at a time. And then sometimes the RV resorts just couldn't accommodate our, 45-foot rig. So that was definitely a challenge. And then along with finding an RV resort, we have to find a decent flight itinerary that will fly into that area. And especially when you're only going for a weekend or long weekend, you don't want to fly into somewhere and then have to drive a whole other hour and a half to get to your RV in storage and the RV resort. So that's one other thing to think about. And then, as I said, we like to keep the coach in storage while we're not using it. We don't really want it to sit outside and be exposed to the elements all season long, especially when we're only there a handful of times. So we try to find indoor or covered storage. And, so we want all these things to sort of be in close proximity, and then also, have good flight itineraries where if you're only going for a weekend, you don't want to spend the entire day traveling. So this year we had almost everything booked in Palmetto, Florida, just north of Bradenton. And we had our flights booked, but our storage that we have previously used just really wasn't quite working out the same for us this year. So, we kind of thought about what our other options could be, and we decided to go back down to Fort Myers, where we had spent some time before a couple years ago. And the RV resort where we stayed then actually has more openings than it used to. So we rebooked there, and then, from Pittsburgh to Fort Myers, there actually tends to be more direct flights. Now, the times don't always work out for us, but we're able to, make the flights work, and we found storage as well. So that's how we plan to do it. We were a little hesitant about going back down to Fort Myers after the hurricane, just not knowing what to expect, how much there is to do there. But we're still excited to be back in that area and explore. And, it's easy to get to Bonita and Naples as well. So, we are looking forward to that. But, I'm not sure if any of you ever really had given thought to what it takes when you just travel part-time and you don't have, weeks at a time to take vacation because you're working full-time. So this is just how we make it work for us. If any of you guys have, relatable experience, we'd love to hear. If you've been doing it for a long time, any tips are always welcome. And, if you had no idea, I guess if you are full-timers and didn't know what went into this, or you haven't RV'd before and maybe you're considering it, this kind of shows you how we make it work, and it could be an option for you too as well. All right. Thanks for listening.